My name is Albert. Welcome to Unknown Facts. In the heart of California, there stands an architectural marvel born not of ambition, but of profound fear and endless sorrow. A sprawling, labyrinthine structure that, well, just totally defies logic and convention. Corridors twist into nothingness, stairways ascend to meet solid ceilings. For nearly 4 decades, the sound of hammers and saws was a constant, a desperate symphony against silence, a relentless effort to appease the unseen. This is the Winchester Mystery House, a puzzle box of wood and glass constructed with a chilling purpose that still baffles and intrigues. My name is Albert. Welcome to Unknown Facts. Please consider subscribing to our channel and liking this video. Your support lets us continue exploring hidden stories from around the world. Now, step across the threshold into the enigma that is the Winchester Mystery House, where every corner holds a new question, and the answers are as elusive as the spirits said to wander its halls. For 38 uninterrupted years, from 1886 until Sarah Winchester's death in 1922, this mansion was a living, breathing construction site. The sounds of industry never ceased. Day, night, carpenters, craftsmen, laborers, their tools a constant chorus. Hammers, saws, blueprints against the silence of the Santa Clara Valley. There was no grand design, no master blueprint to guide their hands. Instructions were given daily, often sketched on scraps of paper or tablecloths, seemingly at the whim of the reclusive heiress. This was not construction for the sake of expansion. It was a process, a ritual, a desperate, unending task. The result is a sprawling, chaotic collection of rooms, wings, annexes, that seem to have grown organically, like some strange wooden fungus. A new room might be added one week, only to be torn down or built over the next. Locals would watch the structure swell and morph, whispering stories about the strange woman within. As one wanders through the bewildering corridors of the Winchester House, a peculiar pattern begins to emerge, a numerical signature woven into the very fabric of the building, the number 13. This number, so often associated with misfortune and superstition in Western culture, appears with an almost fanatical regularity. It is in the grand ballroom, where a magnificent chandelier, originally designed to hold 12 candles, was modified to hold 13. One can find windows with 13 panes of glass, walls with 13 panels, and even a greenhouse with 13 cupolas. The grand staircase has 13 steps, as do many others throughout the home. There are 13 bathrooms, and the sink in one of them has 13 drain holes. This is not coincidence. It is a calculated, pervasive design choice. The number 13 was her anchor in a sea of spirits. Perhaps the most famous and unsettling features of the Winchester Mystery House are its stairways. They are not merely functional means of traversing floors. They are expressions of profound disorientation. The most notorious of these is a staircase that ascends 7 steps, turns, rises another 11, then simply stops. Its final step meets the solid plaster of the ceiling. There is no destination, no purpose in the conventional sense. It is a journey without an end, a physical paradox that leaves visitors standing in stunned silence. Throughout the sprawling mansion, one finds other staircases that defy logic. A set of stairs might descend a few feet only to rise again. Another, the switchback staircase, consists of 7 flights with a total of 44 steps, yet it only rises a mere 9 feet. Its tiny 2-inch risers make for a dizzying, impractical ascent. It feels less like a staircase and more like a deliberate exercise in confusion, designed for a user who does not move in the same way as the living. The popular theory, of course, is that these architectural dead ends were designed for the dead. Just as the stairways lead to nowhere, the mansion is riddled with doors that serve no logical purpose. There are doors that, when opened, reveal not another room or a hallway, but a solid wall. The knob turns, the latch clicks, the heavy wooden panel swings inward, and the visitor is greeted by flat, unyielding plaster. It is a startling and deeply nonsensical feature, repeated throughout the house. More alarming, however, are the doors that open into thin air. On the second floor, on the third floor, there are several such doors. One, famously known as the door to nowhere, is located on an upper floor and opens outward to a sheer, perilous drop to the garden below. There is no balcony, no platform, no warning. It is simply an exit into the void. In a house built with such meticulous, albeit strange, craftsmanship, such a feature could not have been an accident. It was a deliberate and terrifying inclusion. The door to a sheer drop would be the ultimate final deterrent. Whatever their intended function, these doors contribute powerfully to the mansion's eerie atmosphere. At the very heart of this vast, bewildering labyrinth lies a single, windowless room. It is known as the Blue Room, or more famously, the Seance Room. This chamber was the epicenter of Sarah Winchester's spiritual world, the sanctum where she would retreat each night. It has one entrance but 3 exits. Visual: small door opening into a shallow closet. Even smaller door from that closet into an adjacent room. Another exit: a trap door in the floor leading down to the kitchen below. This design suggests a need for quick, secret, and confusing escape routes. It was a room Sarah could enter alone, but from which she could vanish in multiple directions, should she feel threatened by the very entities she had summoned. At midnight, a bell in a nearby tower would toll, signaling the start of the seance. Sarah, alone in the Blue Room, would don one of 13 special-colored robes and engage in her solitary communion. It was here, the story goes, that she received her architectural instructions. The spirits of the dead, it was believed, were the true architects of the Winchester Mystery House, dictating the strange designs. Stairways to nowhere, the doors into walls, through their nightly consultations with the grieving heiress. Beyond the conspicuous oddities of its stairs and doors, the Winchester Mansion conceals another layer of secrets. An intricate network of hidden passages, spy holes, trapdoors. Tiny spy holes, disguised in the wall's woodwork, let Sarah observe staff and guests without detection. Trapdoors are another common feature, placed in unexpected locations. By pressing a panel, a hidden door opens, allowing traversal along the room completely concealed. This network let her move across the sprawling estate without using the main hallways. These were not features for show. They were woven into the very structure of the house, designed for surveillance and stealthy movement. She reportedly slept in a different bedroom each night, her location a closely guarded secret to confuse any hunting spirits. The mansion became a grand illusion, a stage for a lifetime of hiding, where secret passages were the backstage corridors known only to the lead actress. If a ghost pursued her, she could vanish into a wall, appear in another room, or drop through the floor, leaving the spirit baffled. With such a history, steeped in spiritualism and fear, it is hardly surprising that the Winchester Mystery House is considered one of the most haunted locations in America. For decades, visitors, tour guides, paranormal investigators have reported a wide range of unexplained phenomena. Among the most frequently reported sightings is that of a man with a thick, dark mustache, often seen in the basement area near the Grand Ballroom. He is believed to be the ghost of a former carpenter or groundskeeper, still tending to the house in the afterlife. His apparition is often described as solid and lifelike, and he is sometimes heard pushing a wheelbarrow or working with tools, the phantom echoes of the mansion's endless construction. Another prominent spectral figure is a woman in a Victorian-era dress, widely believed to be Sarah Winchester herself. She is most often seen in the corridors near her bedroom or in the seance room, a fleeting, sorrowful figure still wandering the maze she created. Visitors have reported feeling a sudden, inexplicable cold spot, hearing the swish of a gown, or catching a glimpse of her reflection in a pane of glass. Disembodied footsteps are a common occurrence. Doors are heard opening and closing on their own. Doorknobs have been seen to turn untouched, and eerie whispers are sometimes caught on audio recordings. The faint sound of a piano is occasionally heard drifting from the ballroom. Whether these are the tricks of an old, settling house or genuine evidence of the paranormal, they ensure that the mystery and the fear that built this house continue to thrive within its walls. They are specific, recurring encounters that have become part of the mansion's modern lore. The house remains a place of profound mystery. In the early morning hours of April 18, 1906, a powerful earthquake, the same one that would devastate the city of San Francisco, violently shook the Santa Clara Valley. For Sarah Winchester, asleep in one of her many bedrooms, it must have felt like the ultimate judgment. The ground buckled and roared, her sprawling, eccentrically built mansion twisted and groaned under the strain. Chimneys collapsed, plaster cracked, entire sections of the house shifted and sank. Sarah found herself trapped. The violent shaking had jammed the door to her bedroom, the Daisy Room. For hours she remained stuck, alone with her terror, until her staff could finally force their way through the debris and pry the door open. She ordered the entire front portion of the mansion, 30 unfinished rooms, to be boarded up and abandoned. These rooms were never entered again during her lifetime. They were sealed off, left exactly as they were when the earth shook. Tools dropped on the floor, paint cans left open, a snapshot of catastrophe frozen in time. To truly understand the strange tale of the Winchester Mystery House, one must first understand where the immense fortune that funded it came from. Sarah's husband was William Wirt Winchester, the treasurer and heir to the Winchester Repeating Arms Company. The company's most famous product, the Winchester Model 1873 rifle, became known as the gun that won the West. It was a revolutionary weapon that fueled westward expansion and made the Winchester family fabulously wealthy. However, this great fortune was shadowed by immense tragedy. In 1866, Sarah and William's infant daughter Annie died. Then, in 1881, William himself succumbed to tuberculosis. Sarah was left a widow, inheriting a staggering fortune, an estimated $20 million, and utterly alone with her grief. It was in the depths of this sorrow that the legend of the curse was born. Seeking solace, Sarah supposedly visited a spiritual medium in Boston. The medium, it is said, channeled the spirit of her late husband, who delivered a chilling message. The family fortune was cursed, tainted by the blood of every person ever killed by a Winchester rifle. The medium's prescription was as strange as it was specific. She was to travel west, begin building a great house, and she must never ever stop. The medium warned that if the sound of hammering ever ceased, Sarah would immediately join her husband and daughter in death. Upon Sarah Winchester's death in her sleep in 1922, the hammers finally fell silent. Her will left her possessions to her niece, but made no mention of the sprawling, bizarre house. Appraisers who entered the labyrinth were bewildered, deeming it a worthless and curious structure due to its nonsensical design and earthquake damage. Within months of her death, the mansion was sold and opened to the public as a tourist attraction. The new owners and the generations of guides since have painstakingly preserved the house's strangeness. Today, it stands as a California historical landmark, drawing hundreds of thousands of visitors each year who come to walk its confusing corridors and ponder its secrets. It is both a beautiful example of Victorian craftsmanship and a chaotic blueprint of fear. The Winchester Mystery House endures not just as a collection of wood, glass, and strange designs, but as a powerful and unsettling story about grief, guilt, and the extraordinary lengths one person will go to in an attempt to outrun their ghosts. The mystery is its ultimate and most enduring feature. We have walked its halls, peered into its dead ends, and considered the obsessions of its reclusive creator. Perhaps, in the end, it is both. A home built to confuse ghosts and the product of a brilliant, tormented mind grappling with unimaginable loss. The mansion serves as a powerful reminder that some mysteries are not meant to be solved, but to be experienced. The story of Sarah Winchester and her never-ending house is one that will continue to be told, to be explored, and to haunt the imagination for generations to come. Thank you so very much for joining us on this journey into one of America's most fascinating and enduring enigmas. If you enjoyed uncovering these strange truths, we would be deeply appreciative if you would like this video and subscribe to Unknown Facts. Until next time, keep questioning and keep exploring the unknown.